The feeling of fulfillment after watching a well made commercial entertainer is unparalleled. These films don't have to be mind bending, they don't even have to be great on all fronts. All we ask for is small joys and some aha moments at frequent intervals. Hi, I'm Kairam Vaashi, and this is about Madonne Ashwin's Maaveeran. I want to start off by congratulating Madonne Ashwin, who's written and directed this film, Chandru, who's credited for additional screenplay, and Sivakarthikeyan for continuing to choose slightly offbeat films regardless of the outcome at the box office. This is a film that's filled with those small joys and moments thanks primarily to its writing. Right from the film's title, Maaveeran, meaning a warrior, a hero, a superhero, and this film promptly follows a hero's journey. Satya, the role Sivakarthikeyan plays, is a comic strip artist who sketches for a story called Maaveeran, which has been running in this daily newspaper for many, many years. He sketches and then provides these sketches to an employee in that newspaper organization so that he can publish it on his name and not Satya's. In exchange, Satya is promised a job offer sometime in the future in the same organization. So you see, not everything about Satya is Satya, true and spotless. In fact, we see him lying both to himself and in front of others at crucial moments in the story. And why does Satya need this job so badly? It's because he wants to offer better living to his family, comprising of his mother and his younger sister, who are living by the Kuvam River currently. We are told Satya lost his father young, a brave man who fought for his people. And perhaps because of that, Satya himself is cowardly, hates confrontation, is always ready for a compromise, and in a battle, always the first one to raise the white flag. Speaking of flags, such a hero, well, not yet, he gets entangled with Minister Jayakodi, played by Mysskin, in the matter of Makkal Maligai, a government apartment complex shoddily constructed, risking the lives of its inhabitants. With such a setup, Maaveeran could have easily ended up being a regular do-gooder hero versus a greedy, corrupt politician kind of film. But then, it's Mandela's director that we have here. This film has comedy, action, and all of that, but most importantly, it has fantasy. Two for the price of one. One in the comic strip and one with Satya himself. This complex fantasy within the fantasy story is handled brilliantly by the writers. The fantasy element in Satya's story arises because of a fall, an accident. Satya starts hearing a voice which makes him do things. And whose voice is it? It is Vijay Sethupath's. There's some meta stuff here. The play between Satya and this voice, when seen from the real life SK and Vijay's angle, adds the spice that makes it lip smacking. Another tongue in cheek reading of this play could be that the real life Makkal Selvan pushes Satya to be a real Makkal Selvan. அந்த வாத்தி மட்டும் இவர் மண்டைக்குள்ள ஓடல, இவரும் தான் சத்யாவுடைய காதலியும் மண்டையிலும் ஓடுறார். Everything in this film, almost everything, is tightly linked. The film starts with a comic book style rendering of an episode in a warrior's, a Maaveeran's life. And just when you're about to think, this is like a regular animation piece that we usually see in films, this film surprises you. The moment you see him on screen these days, it's difficult to keep the Yogi Babu fatigue at bay. But this film just takes a couple of seconds to remind all of us that this is the Mandela combo that we are talking about here. Yogi Babu's character and comedy go very well with the story. And just when you are about to write off Sunil's character as a typical minister's PA, this film surprises you again. Like in the Sina Sina song, the director right from the first minute of this film has packed so many interesting elements that at the end of the first half, I was fully satisfied and equally concerned as to how they were going to maintain this in the second half. There's a water issue, land issue, labor issue, job fraud, all fell within the first few minutes of this film. The list of good scenes in this film is endless. In fact, I don't mind watching this film again just to break down and decode the writing of those scenes. A simple scene in a doctor's clinic has a high moment and an outro. There's a slipper scene that gets converted to a signing on paper scene, and like I said, I can just keep talking about the brilliant scenes of this film. The idea and execution of fights need a special mention. It's literally like reading out an extremely detailed fight scene on paper. The first time I saw it, I went, wow. Satya goes against the voice in his head in two fights, but in contrasting ways. Watch out for it. There's a scene in the minister's house or office, I don't know, but the minister is trying to kill Satya with a sword. When I saw it, I just applauded for its brilliance. The writing of this film is yet another example as to how we, the audience, don't care for logic as long as the film adheres to the logic of its story's world. As an example, the reason for Satya's accident and what happens immediately after that is extremely logical within the boundaries of the story. The concept of the voice is undeniably this story's USP. By the way, it's not just SK. Yogi Babu as well as Mysskin hear voices. CG work should have been better, but that didn't bother me at all because I was thoroughly enjoying Bharat Shankar's songs and score and Vidhu Ayana's work behind the camera. Mysskin as Yaman with horns is an image that we already saw in the trailer. There's also a beautiful two-face shot when the camera is looking up at SK and Mysskin when they're bending down. High-angle shots throughout this film have a special humorous meaning. The hero may be cowardly, but the ladies in the story are not. Be it Satya's mother, played by veteran actor Saritha, or his sister Raji, or his friend who may or may not be his love interest, Nila, played by an uninhibited Aditi Shankar, whose voice suits both her and her character so well. I felt Saritha's North Chennai accent was slightly inconsistent. Aditi's role starts off well, but then later is reduced to a typical supporting and motivating the hero sort of a heroine role. But they, along with an excellent Raji, apologies, I don't know the actor's name, are all wonderful. SK is great when he is supposed to be timid, submissive, or humorous, but loses some grip when he has to be emotional. Much like Mysskin when he is dramatically angry, but fine otherwise. Well, this is a film that stands firm and tall due to its crafty, deceptively simple writing. We as the audience get to enjoy it so much only because the writers would have spent many a sleepless nights trying to solve this complex puzzle. On the whole, for Madonne Ashwin for switching to such a genre and scale from Mandela, and for SK and his choices, Veerame Jayam.